The Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system.
It was the voice of a courageous explorer, a man dedicated to the pursuit of man's knowledge and the expansion of his horizons.
Good morning. Here is Nathan Ivey.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats it, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? John be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Broadcasting live from Cincinnati, Ohio, here's the king of superlative flows, Nathan Ivey.
Back from my hiatus, politicking on the latest. Good morning. Welcome back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. 7 a.m., currently 7:05 a.m. in the Queen City. Good morning, choppers. Good morning, world. Good morning, internet. Feeling great. I wish I had more details, but I want to give you a heads up in case. I'll pot that down, DJ. Good morning to you. Good morning, and now I know you can hear me. Good morning. Welcome back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, the last honest place in Cincinnati, Ohio. Maybe the damn state. Maybe the country. Good morning to you. Here is my number in case you want to give me a call this morning. 513-873-7134. That's my number. You can also text into the show by, well, joining the Chop Shop. Why? Because we chop up issues every single morning. Listen, today I want to kick it off. Today's Wednesday, December 28th, 2016. What are your plans for New Year's? We've got 3 days left in the calendar year 2016. As I've been saying for many years, anytime I'm behind the microphone, I'm discussing one of three areas: people, politics, and pleasure. So each day I want to just take some time and sort of look back at those particular areas. Winners and losers, highlights and lowlights, heroes and Gilligans, kicking off on today's show. And I love you to share your thoughts. I would love for you to share your thoughts. What do you think is the biggest news story of 2016? Something tells me that is it. That we may find some consensus on that. Locally, as in here in the city of Cincinnati, what's the biggest news story of 2016? All right? What's the biggest news story I would like to discuss with you? Also, I want to catch you up on everything that's happened within the last 24 hours. We were last together about 24 hours ago, and so many things are happening, including the death of Carrie Fisher, known to the world as Princess Leia from the Star Wars trilogies. It's like 2 or 3 of them now. Series, I guess is the best way to put it. Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher. Oh, it's all over the news. If you watch cable news, it's all over the cable news. If you watch morning news, it's all over the morning news. You can't get away from it. Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. What I found out is that Princess Leia was doped up a lot, like a whole lot. And I didn't know Carrie Fisher's background, but she came from some privilege. Both of her family, her mother and father were both in the biz. They were well known. I'm sure they had some money. And so what was she, just like this rich kid in like Hollywood? You know what I'm saying? Just doing drugs? She smashed the homies. Yes, she did. Carrie Fisher smashed the homies. She smashed Han Solo. All these years. I knew he smashed. Knew it. But she smashed Han Solo, a.k.a. Harrison Ford. I think he's like 10 years older than her, but you know, Harrison got it like that. Harrison Ford. And I didn't know how big she was into the dope, you know, until she died. And then all these reports came out. I mean, she was on cocaine and marijuana. She was on it all. Apparently she had like some mood disorders, popping pills for the mood disorder, bipolar. I mean, she had issues. I mean, you're white and you're rich. How could you have that many damn problems? Your parents are wealthy. Well, I don't know wealthy. Maybe they had a little bit of money. I'm not sure of the finances, but they definitely had fame. And that's Carrie Fisher. Princess Leia, when she was fighting Darth Vader, she was high on the moon. That's how she got through it. You know? For that matter, all the rebels were probably on dope. I mean, come on now. How's it these ragtag bunch of rebels from different parts of the universe gonna stop the Empire? It was dope the hell up. That's how it happened. That is interesting. But it's going to be everywhere. Like if you watch mainstream news, just get ready for it. It's an avalanche. Carrie Fisher. Princess Leia. You know, if you go back to Star Wars, though, I mean, damn. I know it's a long time ago. And, you know, that was a time in the 80s, a lot of people weren't even hip to the term colorism. But damn, we can't get no black Jedis that actually survive. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Now, you know damn well, though, if that movie, let's see, back in the 80s, I don't even know who they could have got. If Luke Skywalker was first depicted with an African-American actor, come on, man. It never would have been that big. You know that. I know that. Colorism. Is colorism alive and well today? Denzel Washington in a recent interview says no. And he says, if you're looking for evidence, well, just look at my co-star in Fences, Viola Davis. She's dark-skinned. She's made it. What the hell? Denzel is losing his mind slowly, y'all. Now, Denzel Washington says that Viola Davis is proof that colorism doesn't exist in Hollywood. I mean, clearly Denzel Washington was either misquoted or he's not aware of some of the recent statements. I mean, as early as just last year, Viola Davis in separate interviews. I can remember one interview off the top of the dome in which she talked about how the paper bag test is still alive and well in Hollywood. And in this particular interview, she talked about how there's a lot of Hollywood executives who don't believe that dark-skinned women are desirable by men. Can you believe that? What in the hell? Please tell me they don't have anybody black who's running around here in Hollywood talking about dark-skinned women are not desirable. Damn, I'm going to show you a sucker. You show me a black man with that kind of mentality, and I'm going to show you a sucker. The hell is wrong with these people? So this is Viola Davis just last year. And now here you are, Denzel, talking about Hollywood don't discriminate on dark or color? Oh, no. Oh, not Hollywood. What world is Denzel Washington living in, folks? Do you care about the news of other people's relationships coming to an end? Do you care about that kind of stuff? Because if you do, there's a story in the morning press. It looks like, it looks like the first family of hip hop, at least on television. And you know what? For the longest time, this particular family was like the most wholesome television show with black people. You know, it's a reality show. But I'm talking about T.I. Apparently, his wife is officially filed for divorce against him. So apparently, they've been married for 6 years. They got kids older than that, don't they? Yeah, they definitely got kids older than that. So they had one of those kind of relationships where they had kids together and they was living together as man and wife, but they weren't really married. That's cool for a man because that means that he can walk away at any point and there's less legal entanglement. You know, not everybody believes in that marriage certificate. Do you believe in it? I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I like to talk about grown folk stuff, okay? You dating somebody for a long time, y'all got a couple kids together, but y'all not married. So they've been married for 6 years, and now she's filed for divorce. And the big rumor is because T.I. is sleeping with different women. And I can imagine that if you're T.I., everywhere you go, there's a certain type of woman that's going to throw it at you. They're going to throw it at you. I mean, they almost force you. It's like you can't say no. It's like you cannot say no. You know, it gets to the point where, like, your dignity's on the line. Like, wait. You challenging me as a man, as a sexual being. I must accept the challenge. You don't know what it's like to be a man out here, ladies. You don't have no idea. Good morning to you, choppers. So that's it for them. 6-year union and it's over with. Oh, man, that's going to be tough on the kids. It is what it is. I mean, adults don't give a damn. All we want to do is be happy. You know, if it rips the kids to shreds, hey, listen, at least I'm not unhappy. Hey, they can be happy when they get their own place, right? That's deep. T.I. here dirty dogging it. I mean, what is she doing? You telling me she all at home? I don't believe it. They always focus on the dude, but what is she doing? What is she doing? What is she doing? Who is she seeing? We got to get the Carlos Jeff and investigators on that one to figure it out. He's T.I. I mean, part of me feels like if you get with a man and he's already like a superstar, he's well known, as is, I understand, the case in their relationship, then, well, I take that back. They've been together for much longer than that. But if you get with a dude and he's a superstar and you know it already, then that comes with the territory. He's trying to help his fans. But what do you think about it? 513-873-7134. That is my number. Again, open your mind before you open your mouth. I don't want to hear your thoughts about that. If you give a damn. You may not give a damn. 6 years, that's nothing, man. I've been married 16 years. 16 years with the same woman. And she always come home. She's always here. Think about it now. I'd also like to talk about perhaps one current event story. Maybe we can get into this. And have you heard the story about the little transgender boy? Boy and a girl, but now a boy. And this little boy, girl, or girl, boy, or girl, however you want to look at it, damn it, don't confuse me, has been recently kicked out of a Boy Scout troop. And apparently it was sort of like an open thing. Everybody knew, okay, you know, here's little, we'll say Tommy. And Tommy's in Boy Scouts, but Tommy is really a girl, anatomically a girl. But the parents have allowed Tommy to choose Tommy's own gender identity at a very young age. Is that abuse? The hell? What kind of parent are you? What kind of parent allows their 8-year-old to choose their own identity? I mean, you can't even choose your own dinner. If I let my daughter choose her own dinner every single night, you know what she would be eating every single night? Trash, popcorn, cake and ice cream, Twizzlers. She might bake her some cookies or something like that because she's getting her skills together. She knows how to bake. She might bake her some muffins or something like that. Pizza. I mean, all the kid stuff. Burgers. She might mix in just a little bit of corn. Well, if it's on the cob, that's about it. That's what my daughter would do. You don't let kids make those kind of decisions. I want to discuss with you. But looking back to 2016, what is the biggest story of 2016 nationally and locally? And if you don't live in the locale of Cincinnati, Ohio, that's okay too. I just want to get your thoughts.
Oh, get to the chopper!
Let's get to the choppers then. That man is pushy. Let's get to the choppers then. Good morning. I just did 10 air fist pumps right there. Look at that. I'm exercising. Look at that. Tanika, she writes, good morning, Nate and the Chopper. She's first inside the Chop Shop. Good morning, Tanika. Rico writes, morning, Chopper. Shout out to all the addicts of heroin and sugar who are going clean for 2017. Be strong. Oh, Lord, you trying to give up sugar? Woo! That's a tough one right there. Robin writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Robin. That's 1, 2, and 3 inside the Chop Shop for today, Wednesday, December 28th, 2016. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Currently 7:18 a.m. in the Queen City. Deborah writes, morning. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Dante. Colleen writes, good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Kiki. She writes, Kiki. Kiki writes, I read Mr. Ivy and the Choppers. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lips. She writes, happy third day of Kwanzaa. Mr. Everett, how you doing, sir? He writes, good morning. Dale writes, good morning, Nate. Pan writes, good morning, all. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag Team NI. Monique writes, morning, everybody. Rise and shine. Ujima. Happy third day of Kwanzaa. What does Ujima mean, please? Please educate me. Good morning, CJ. I need to be educated. Pat writes, good morning, y'all. Kelly writes, good morning, Nathan. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Shannon. Good morning, Pat. Good morning, John. Good morning, Crutha. She writes, good morning, good morning, good morning. Brown skin in the house. I think I got it all. Keisha writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Dare writes, the mishandle of the Ray Tensing trial is the biggest story in Cincinnati for 2016 to me. Yeah, that case was mishandled, but the media completely mishandled the coverage of it. And I'm not trying to lay blame completely at Joe Dieter's feet, but I can't reiterate enough just how beside myself I was when I heard him almost openly, I won't say boasting, but just so brazenly admitting that he could step his game up the next time around. And I'm thinking, well, damn it, that's why you're the Hamilton County prosecutor. I told you, he's Joe and Joe. He's Joe TNT Dieters only some of the time. Only some of the time. He certainly wasn't that during that trial. And, I mean, that goes from what I understand, because I wasn't inside the courtroom. I watched via multiple media platforms here locally, just like many of you did. I mean, it was wall-to-wall coverage, wasn't it? Woo, I'm telling you. What would y'all do without the pain and misery of black folks to report about, to opine about, okay, to pontificate upon, you know? What else would they do? What else would you be talking about? Damn it. Woo, they want us to go, but they really need us to stay. Quite honestly. But I'm with you on that, Daryl. I really am, man. The mishandling of the Ray Tensing trial, from not only the execution, the Q&A, the cross-examination. As I told you, there was 2 brothers that was pulled over by Ray Tensing. Were they even called in as witnesses? I don't know. If they were, I stand away from it, okay? But if not, why not? The defense offered in other traffic stops that Ray Tensing was a part of, had initiated, as evidence that he's a good guy. See, all these other people, he was so nice to these black people. How could you say he's got a problem with black people? Okay, that's how they played it. So where was the stop of Ray Tensing with those 2 brothers who were very agitated, who felt like they got pulled over for no reason whatsoever, who felt like they were harassed? I talked to one of the brothers. He told me he felt as if he got out of the car, he was going to get shot. That's what he told me on the air. Why wasn't all of this brought into, the courtroom? To show that there was a pattern here with Ray Tensing. I don't know. And then, listen, this is Hamilton County, Joe Dieters. You cannot get so caught up in your whiteness that you actually believe this. That you can get a jury of 12 people and there's no black man on there whatsoever, a minority of black people on the jury, and it's not going to be skewed. Come on, man. That's just naive privilege. I don't know what it is, but it was a farce. And the reason why I say this is this. I really believe this in my heart, that if you had switched the roles If Sam DuBose had, for whatever reason, killed Ray Tensing is dead. Sam DuBose is alive. Sam DuBose is on trial. Joe Dieters would have brought it all, man. He would have been the performance of his life. It would have been the performance of his life. He would have died on the stage, so to speak. He would have left it all on the dance floor. Okay? He would have left it all on the courtroom. It would have been his Perry Mason moment. He would have shown his ass. In these times, police under assault, FOP, so many feelings, frayed edges on both sides. Come on now. So since I believe that, I expected more in terms of trying to get justice for Sam DuBose. And now you want to blame it on the media. Well, we need to change a venue because people are protesting. What? What? I don't understand the logic in that. I'm sorry. I don't understand the logic of it. Well, people are going to be afraid to be honest because they live here. Well, okay, don't release their names to the public then. Don't allow their names and their identities to get out to the public. Period. That's it. That was crazy. That's a good one right there. I could riff all day on that one. Kiki writes, damn, Princess Leia, just say no to drugs. Had no idea she was on that dope. I mean, man, Juana, there's interviews about her talking about the drugs she was taking. And you got this brand new Star Wars movie that just hit. I haven't seen it yet. I'm kind of on the fence about it because y'all gonna say I'm just a race man, but damn it, this is how I feel. I don't see no black folks. There's no black Jedis. What is it, Forrest Whitaker? They always get Forrest Whitaker. Sick of that one. And then in the first new Star Wars movie, the only brother, how you going to be a stormtrooper and you so damn scared? He's fidgeting around. Oh, my God. I just can't get no satisfaction. I'm sorry. I know you're like, you get that race stuff again. I'm just sorry. This is how I feel. You want me to lie to you? John writes, unfortunately, I think Harambe is probably the biggest story, just based on the ridiculous coverage and even more ridiculous internet outrage by the snowflakes. By the snowflakes. Damn. By the snowflakes? Harambe. Did that happen this year? Harambe. Yeah, that was this year. That's right. That was D. That's a good one too, John. That's a real good one right there. Harambe. Ooh, what did we learn about the local consciousness from the Harambe case? I mean, what did we learn? Remember how they tried to go after her mother or the mother of the child? Remember that? Now the zoo, everybody locally gave the zoo the break. Everybody. Nobody criticized the zoo. Like in the Cincinnati area, the zoo is sort of like some kind of holy grail or something. You can't talk about it. And I can tell you that while in commercial radio, I was critiquing my experience at the zoo and had to have some conversations with management about it. I mean, it was nothing serious, but it is what it is. There was a sponsor and blah, blah, blah. So I get it. So it's like hands off of the zoo. But I mean, the zoo is wrong in that. Period. I don't give a damn what Thane Maynard or whoever thinks. That was the truth. They should have made sure that enclosure was childproof. No child should be able to crawl into any kind of animal pit. It shouldn't be possible. By a 3-year-old, I think the boy was 3 years old. Shouldn't be possible. But, the zoo is hands off now. Can't talk about the zoo. I just made the observation that when you go to the Cincinnati Zoo, there's an awful lot of hills. It's a lot of hills. Man, they got a couple hills at the Cincinnati Zoo that is tough, man. Tough. And, you got to be prepared for that. A lot of folks be trying to be cutie at the zoo. You ever seen somebody like that? You want to go to the zoo with your cute shoes on? And then 90 minutes later, they can barely walk. It's hilarious. My wife and I, we laugh at things like that. We do. We will laugh at you. Why she got them damn shoes on? Beauty. Beauty is painful, right, ladies? I don't know. So I just made the observation that one of these animals, if they get out, now I got to run uphill. I got to be in great shape before I go to the zoo if I want to survive. I mean, one of these panthers or gorillas or orcas or Legion of Bees or whatever decide, you know, what the hell with humans? And they want to go off. I got to run uphill to get out. That's a little unfair, man. You know, this is America. You know, we all fat. You know it. You know it. I can lose a few. I know it. You ain't got to say nothing to me about it. In fact, I'd rather you didn't. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Wednesday. The new year is upon us. Think about that. This is the last week of 2016. How has your 2016 been? I mean, did you reach what? I don't want to bring you down with the whole goal conversation, so I'll save that. But biggest stories of 2016, nationally, regionally, locally. That's what I like to discuss with you primarily this morning. If you want to reach out to me and share your voice and your opinion, again, someone once said that your opinion is not really actualized. You don't really actualize your thoughts until you share them with somebody. Well, here's my number, 513-873-7134. This is the Nathan Ivey Show.
For loving me so much, for taking me out to the park, for reading me books, for taking
me to the doctor when I broke my foot in ballet rehearsal,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for having the chance to take you to the park, for reading you those books we enjoy so much, for being able to take you to your therapies after you twisted your ankle, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. And in your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one. Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP. We help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
So I'm a cat. And I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Tired of searching online? 3linkdirectory.com has handpicked tens of thousands of quality links, so you don't have to spend hours searching. Find the best internet links on 3Link Directory. Visit 3linkdirectory.com now. Enjoy quality links sorted in categories like arts, games, health, shopping, sports, travel, and many more on 3linkdirectory.com. That's 3linkdirectory.com.
Good morning, all. Welcome back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. You found us. Good morning. Welcome. Come on in. Join the Chop Shop. Currently 7:31 a.m. in the Queen City. And currently we are broadcasting live from the city of Cincinnati. Now, if you're listening right now, you got a small business and maybe you're trying to get the word out. Hey, perhaps we can do a live broadcast, or perhaps we can advertise right here on the Nathan Ivey Show. For contact information, go to my website, Nathan Ivey. At the very top, you see the menu bar, and you can find contacts and contact me directly. And make sure you check the show tomorrow. It's going to be a quick turnaround. From when I get confirmation that I may be hosting an event for New Year's Eve here in the city of Cincinnati, and when I will actually tell you. So make sure you check out the show tomorrow morning. And hey, we can party together. You know what I'm saying? Champagne on me. 513-873-7134. My name is Nathan Ivey. That is my number. 2016, I like to talk about 3 areas of the human experience. I'm a people watcher. Among other things, agent provocateur. But the three areas in which I specialize are people, politics, and pleasure. It just seems like everything I talk about falls so neatly into one of those three categories. We've got 3 days left in the calendar year 2016. And today I want to talk about politics. Biggest national story, regional story, local stories, winners and losers. You tell me again, 513-873-7134 if you'd like to share your thoughts. And already we got some great locals ideas. Sam DuBose, the mishandling of it. I love the way you phrase that. It's not just a Sam DuBose case, although that was big here locally. It was the fact that how could this happen? From the jury questionnaire, it just seems so, unusual. Unusual. But we're waiting to see what's going to happen further. Let's go back to the phones. Kiki Rice corn, that has no nutritional value. Yeah, that's why I said it. You let kids decide what they're going to eat every single night, it'll be something that tastes good. And not something that necessarily is good. I think the big local story here as well in 2016 was the heroin epidemic story, where you had so many people who were overdosing. So many people overdosing, and it led to some local reforms. Can you, this word now is very familiar, Narcan. And I don't know who's manufacturing Narcan, but they're standing to make a lot of money. They really are. The local news made a lot of money for them. Oh, Narcan. Now a lot of EMS, if not all of them, are required to carry Narcan so they can revive a heroin addict. And again, as we go into 2017, you're not hearing a lot of conversation. In fact, no conversation have I heard, no national or local reporting, should I say, about the heroin crisis. So it's like, as long as people are doing their drugs and they're not dying in the streets, that's good. That's good. That means we've got a good heroin crisis. A bad heroin crisis is when the heroin addicts are bringing everybody down by overdosing and taking over the headlines. Somebody said, oh, they're getting some bad heroin. Well, wait a minute. That's like saying you're getting some bad poison. It's heroin, man. It's inherently bad for you. That's why a lot of us don't do it. So that's what I figured out. That's what I understand now about the local mentality. You've got good heroin and bad heroin. Good heroin is the kind of heroin that keeps the addicts addicted, keeps them coming back. Bad heroin is the kind of heroin that kills the addicts. It becomes a public story or maybe even public nuisance. That's bad. That's what I've gathered. And that's why there's not a lot of reporting right now, because nobody's being killed. As long as you're just doped up, as long as you're just wasting your life, as long as you're just impacting the family, the life of your family, that's all good. Just don't die in these streets. Now we all got to deal with it. Am I being cynical? I don't think so. But locally, that's got to be one of the biggest stories, if not the biggest story in the mind of some folks. The heroin epidemic, the heroin crisis. And if you don't know, locally in the city of Cincinnati, and I'm speaking generally, a lot of black folks, we don't give a damn about the heroin crisis. To be honest with you, I've talked to black people in this city, and they don't give a damn about the heroin crisis, because it's like, wait a minute, black folks been on heroin since the 70s. This ain't nothing new. And the way a lot of black people look at it is, well, now that the heroin addicts are white, it's like, oh, we got so much sympathy. Let me hold you. Come here, little baby. You want some suckle? Just suckle here. There you go, suckle. It's all good. See, now there's no problem with government expenditures to help people in their addictions and their crisis, whether it's something that happened to them due to the consequences of their own actions or not. And black people are like, wait a minute. Now you want to open up the purse strings? It's all good. So that's definitely an ongoing issue. Dale writes, I've never been into the whole Star Wars series, so by her passing had me like, never heard of her. Yeah. Ain't missed too much. Kiki writes, I truly believe Mr. Washington was being sarcastic. That has been said to him about dark-skinned women. Kiki writes, there are many black men out here who think dark-skinned women are not attractive. You show me a black man that would look at a dark-skinned woman and think, uh-oh, too dark, and I'm going to show you a sucker. I'm going to show you a complete idiot. And I'm not talking about who you're married to. I'm talking about you show me. That's like, what the hell? I mean, have you ever heard of this such thing? This is ridiculous. Tiffany writes, morning, everyone. Good morning, Tiffany. Pam writes, that's very sad, Kiki, but I think it's slowly changing. Jerica writes, good morning, family. Good morning, Jerica. Good morning. Tracy writes, hi. Demo writes, good morning, people. Good morning, Demo. Tracy writes, big story, Trump's win and Prince dying. Yeah. Well, you got less than 30 days, man. Less than 30 days.
I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it. Whoa. I did try and fuck her. She was married.
Yeah, that guy. He's going to be the president very soon. Did you have anybody in your life who was telling you, let's go back to the election, okay, of 2016. Was there anyone in your life who on the side was like, Donald Trump could win? I have an uncle, man, and from date when he realized, I mean, going back to the primary, he was like Donald Trump. For whatever reason, Donald Trump was really standing out to him. When Donald Trump won the Republican nomination, I talked to him. He wasn't even surprised at all. And he kept talking about how some of the things that he was saying was really resonating with people. Now, my uncle has a kind of job where he's dealing with a lot of different people on a regular basis. And based on some of his experiences and comments and little things he was picking up from interacting with these people, he had deduced that Donald Trump had a real chance of winning. And early on, it looked like the poll numbers just suggested that Donald Trump was going to get shellacked. But that damn email stuff, it stuck around so long, didn't it? And I'm like, emails? You heard me on the air. I'm like, emails? They're still talking about emails? And it worked. And then she said, of course, Prince dying. That's right. On that dope. I mean, what percentage of the population do you think is addicted? And when I say addicted, I mean addicted and distracted, because if you really believe that there's sort of like some kind of Illuminati, if you believe that there's some type of like puppet masters who are really controlling the strings, well, then if a large majority of the population is distracted and deluded because they're on some kind of addiction trip all the time, then that would make the American public a lot more pliable, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just a thought. But what percentage? I mean, Prince, another one. What is it about being famous? It must be tough to be famous. Like, a lot of people who are not famous want to be famous. But to be famous, it must be tough. It must be tough. Because look at what happens to famous people. And the other thing is that some of these artists, they use drugs to tap into another plane of existence where they may be able to find some creativity. And maybe that's why Prince was doing it. I don't know. Damn, that's sad. Demo writes, good morning, people. Kutha writes, I gave up sugar a year. Next month, switch to Steva or sativa. What is sativa? Is that like some kind of fake sugar? Kiki writes, hit the like button. Absolutely. Jerica writes, Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Yeah. Thank you, Jerica. Look at Jerica, all culture. She up on her Kwanzaa game, girl. Look at you. What? And you light skin. It's a good combination right there. Tell us on Ujima, collective work and responsibility. See, that's good right there. Dale writes, the biggest story nationally that isn't being reported is that it should be the 700 homicides this year in Chicago. 700 men, women, and children were killed due to gun violence. 700? Damn. Damn. But you know what? The reporting is so one-sided. Like, all we ever get from Chicago is the butcher's bill. This amount of people died in this amount of time frame. You know, that's what we get. I rarely have ever, if ever, gotten to what are the root issues there in Chicago. I still don't know. Pam writes, congrats, Krutha. Gotta keep the blood sugar low. Okay, and interact with one another. Famous writes, famous here. Yes, you are, sir. Glad to see you. Kashana writes, good morning. Good to see you. Good morning, Mike. Junior writes, good morning, family. Hashtag salute. Dare writes, yeah, that hill by the polar bear exhibit, I think is steep as hell. Yes, it is. I know exactly what you talk about. We're talking about the Cincinnati Zoo. And it came up this morning because that incident happened with Harambe. Oh, it opened up some wounds here locally, boy. And you had white people that got so angry that this woman's child fell into the gorilla pit, and then the gorilla had to get put down. People were more concerned about the gorilla than they were the kid. People act like a 3-year-old falling 15 feet is like nothing. Oh, another 15 feet. Oh, just brush it off. 15 feet onto some concrete. And people care more about Harambe. Oh, the poor gorilla. Why did they do this to Harambe? Oh, Harambe. Oh, Harambe. There was tears for Harambe. Tears for Harambe. Oh, Harambe. People were so upset about a gorilla that they even tried to, I think the woman either owned or worked for some kind of daycare facility. So people started questioning her professionally. Well, if she can't watch her kids at the Cincinnati Zoo, then what kind of professional is she going to be, right? And I don't know if that's a fair question or not. I mean, you might think it is a fair question. Maybe on some levels it is a fair question. I don't know. And, you know, the mother, there was some talk about her being charged. Oh, my God. Don't let her have been in line trying to get a pizza. Don't let her have been in line trying to get a pizza. Your kid fall into the gorilla pit. To make sure that the media focuses on anything other than the culpability of the Cincinnati Zoo. Anything could happen. That was deep right there. And that polar bear hill will get you. Let one of those polar bears get out. Where you going to go? You going to run downhill into the park, into the jungle? You're trying to get out. You got to run uphill. I'm not in that shape right now. I'm sorry. I'm going to put up beyond. I'm not in that kind of shape. Because you got to understand, if I'm at the zoo, I ain't at the zoo by myself. You know that. You think I'm just going to go to the zoo and walk around looking at animals? No. If I'm at the zoo, I'm at the zoo because I'm there with my daughter or maybe the wifey and now the son. That's 4 of us. I'm the man. I got to make sure they all get out. So if one of the animals get out of Cincinnati Zoo, that means I got to pick up Junior because you know he can't run fast. Okay? I might have to pick up everybody. Damn, it's tough being a man. Damn, it's tough. Ashley writes, good morning, Chop Shop. Happy hump day. Absolutely. Fama writes, 2016 was whack for me by far. I got cracked in every form. Biggest story, obviously, Trump win locally tensing trial. Okay. Demi writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning, Mr. Hollywood. What's up, Craig? What up, Craig? Dare writes, while they are locking up the black heroin dealers and giving them 2 life sentences for dealing heroin to white folks. Yeah, I think that's completely unfair. I think that's completely unfair. You're going to lock these brothers up. And so basically what you're telling me is that if I'm selling heroin and I don't put nothing in the heroin whatsoever, okay, because some of these dope dealers do that. Like they'll put some fentanyl or something in there. And in some cases, they trying to make these addicts OD because strangely enough, in some cases, and I saw this on a television show called Drugs, Inc. They were out in the West Coast somewhere, and they did a profile with a heroin dealer. And he said that whenever he gets a new batch in, he always sprinkles some fentanyl in a couple of bags. Now, he kind of loses count and forgets their placement. You know, he's not targeting any person in particular, but he wants somebody to OD off of his product. Because when the other addicts find out about it, guess what, people? Guess what, Choppers? They want it too. Wait. Is this that stuff the dude OD'd on? Yeah, give me that. What? That's deep. That's deep. But given the dealers' life sentences is not going to save the addicts. All it's going to do, because it's so lucrative, it's so much money to be made, is worth the risk. All you're going to do is, boom, go open up a market for a new dealer. That's it. That's all this. I mean, that's what they don't want to tell you with the war on drugs. That's all they really doing. When they close down one dealership, guess what? Another dealership opens up, period. That's what happens. Craig writes, love my chocolate queens. And we'll see. Listen, if you don't know what we're talking about here when it comes with that, Denzel Washington, again, I'm not sure if it's true or not. I'm just telling you what's being reported this morning. You know, he's got this new movie out called Fences that everybody's talking about. It's Oscar worthy. We'll see. Wish him the best. It's got Viola Davis in it. She's in my fantasy file. I'll be honest with you. Dark-skinned sister. And see, like I told you, I didn't know she could get all sexy like that. I didn't know she could get sexy. She got that ABC series where she's very sexy, and it's very sexy. Dark-skinned sister. Is there anything sexier than a dark-skinned sister? I don't know. But Denzel says that Viola Davis is proof that colorism doesn't exist in Hollywood. So should we label Denzel one of these new Negroes? You know, one of the new blacks. I don't think color. All we got to do is have peace and love, right? You got $50 million in the bank. Easy for you to say. He says that her success is proof that colorism doesn't exist. But Viola herself has said that she believes that in Hollywood that there's still a brown paper bag test, where the darker you are, the less attractive television executives believe that you are. Now, what? Doesn't it, now, if television executives have actually told her that, or Hollywood executives, doesn't that scream of a lack of diversity probably? Come on, man. And if you show me a brother that thinks that a dark-skinned woman is not attractive, I want to show you a damn idiot. You're a damn fool. The kind of dude you don't want to be with anyway. But here's what's been reported. Apparently he sat down with BET and he was asked if colorism holds dark-skinned actors and actresses back in show business. And Denzel replied, allegedly, quote, one of the best roles for a woman of any color in a good while, or at least any movie that I've been in, a dark-skinned woman has in this film. So as long as you're being led by outside forces or just being reactionary, then you won't move forward. You have to continue to get better. So what he's saying is, listen, look at Viola Davis. This is a great role. She's dark-skinned. So stop complaining about racism and get better at being an actor, I guess is what he's saying. But what's your take on it? Enough of me, more of you. Let's go to the phones. Good morning, caller. How are you?
How's it going, Nathan?
I'm doing great, man. Who is this?
Kev on the sale, man. Kev on the sale.
Kev on the sale. What up, Kev? Good morning.
Good morning. So first up, I want to answer your question. You said, is there anything sexier than a dark-skinned sister? Yep, it's a light-skinned sister. But the only thing sexier than a light-skinned sister is a dark-skinned sister. You feel me?
I feel you. I got you.
It's just so, it's such a beautiful hue, man.
Yes, it is.
The whole rainbow is beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. First, I want to say Happy New Year to you and your family, man.
Thank you.
And much. Absolutely. There's so much stuff going on, man. The thing about Harambe kind of touched me again. It blows my mind. I'm not against animals. I love animals. I don't have a problem with animals. But there's so much human suffering that sometimes I'm like, I just want you to cure all the problems that we have. I don't know if I want to say first, because I don't think that's fair, but
yeah, first.
That's the greater focus, man. That's the greater focus. I don't understand. You know, if it comes down to the life of an ape and the life of a child, you know, I'm sorry, man. That might be wrong, but the child comes first pretty much every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But you got some of these animal activists, man, who are so upset about the concept of a zoo. They don't believe in zoos anyway. And they believe that maybe a Harambe should have been like, anesthetized or put out or knocked out or something like that. And, you know, maybe they feel like this little black boy's life isn't worth that much.
A lot of those same people, though, Nathan, if you ask them, well, are you willing to give up all your creature comforts, your lifestyle, you know, go back to farming the land yourself and go out there and find your own food, you know, they wouldn't be for that. Are you ready to give up streets and houses and buildings? No. I like where I live and I like how I live. Well, there's a lot of habitat that's gone because of our growth and movement. And so some of these animals, they're not in the zoo only because of the feature effect, right? Some of it is because their natural habitat's been decimated, and they don't have a place to live. You know what I mean? So, and some of them have been injured, and there's all kinds of reasons why there are animals in the zoo. But again, man, just the point of people making such a big deal about, I would have thought there would have been more questions about child safety laws and things like that. But it was Harambe. I didn't hear much about the kids.
Yeah, it was all about Harambe. And even this morning, if you look at the Cincinnati Enquirer, they've got a list of their top 10 stories, right? So the Ray Tensing trial is like number 9 or 10. And Harambe is like number 2. So, wow. And the story is, wait, let me look at the title here. I think the title of this particular thing, let me see here. Oh, yeah. It's The Death of Harambe the Gorilla. So it's not the almost death of the kid who fell into the gorilla pit because the folks at the Cincinnati Zoo were on top of their job. The whole story is the death of the damn gorilla.
Well, even more important, think about it. It's not the death of a gentleman who had a wrongful death of a gentleman who had many mouths to feed and was caring for his family the best way he could. It's not that at the hands of a police officer who took a wrong action. It's not that. It's a gorilla.
Right, it's a gorilla. I'm a little mad at the Cincinnati Enquirer because you got a top 10 list, okay? And number 9 is the Ray Tensing trial. It's not the death of Sam Dubose. It's titled the Ray Tensing trial. Okay, so the focus is now Ray Tensing, not the death of Sam Dubose, but yet it's the death of Harambe, who was a gorilla. It's ridiculous, man.
But you know what? In our bizarro world, man, it all makes sense because Trump's president. Hey, man, be blessed.
Take it easy, man.
And happy New Year. Hey, you too, man.
Absolutely, man. If we can get through it. That's Kevin on the sound. Yeah, I'm a little ticked off with the folks at the Enquirer for that one. And it's subtle. I know most people won't even pick up on it, but you got a top 10 list of local stories. And you rank the death of a gorilla over the death of a man? Over the death of Sam Dubose? And just think, like I said, if you look at the labeling of it, it says everything. You know, the focus isn't the death of Sam Dubose, as it should be. It's all about whether this cop is going to be exonerated. And that story about the death of Harambe, the real story should have been the almost death of this little human boy. And see, nobody wants to criticize the Cincinnati Zoo because they feel like if you criticize the Cincinnati Zoo, you can't support the Cincinnati Zoo. Well, no, I'm criticizing the Cincinnati Zoo right now. And I still support the zoo. I think that on some levels, they've done some great things. Now, but here's the deal, though. Here's the real challenge. If you can't claim that you love animals and then you like to go to the zoo, you know that, don't you? People that go to zoos don't really love animals. Not the adults anyway. Kids don't know any better. But adults who, I love to go to the zoo, they don't really love animals. You don't really love animals. There's no way possible. There's no way possible. Because if you really loved animals, then you don't really like the idea of zoos and you wouldn't support them. But I also believe that with kids, you know, they can be used. I mean, since you're going to put these animals in captivity any damn way, we might as well use it as an educational resource for kids. I mean, but if you really, really think about this, other than zoning laws and things like this, anybody can start a zoo. All I got to do is put the money together to go to these continents and these places, kidnap some animals. If I got to drug them, bring them over here and start me a little zoo. That's it. I could go on and on with this, but I will not. Tracy writes, as soon as Donald Trump started saying build a wall and keep the Muslims out, my dad was like, he's going to win. Really, Tracy? I'd ask the question, did you have anybody in your life who predicted that Donald Trump was going to win? I'm telling you, man, with age comes wisdom. And there's some people out there that are very wise, and they can see it. Like I told you, my uncle was calling Donald Trump when Trump was in the primary. to win it. Not to a certainty, but he left that door open like, listen, anything can happen. And I'm telling him, like, man, if these numbers stay consistent, it's going to be a landslide. He's like, okay. You know, he one of them. Fama writes, Donald Trump banged Robin Givens while she was married to Mike Tyson, according to a book about Tyson. Really? Robin Givens was getting around. That's the second story I've heard about Mike Tyson and her dating some other dude. Apparently, Mike Tyson almost ran up on her and Brad Pitt. Now, you know she smashed a young Brad Pitt. You know she did. Kush writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning, Kush. Demi writes, I think it's gang violence in Chicago. Yeah, but what is the root of it? What is the fuel for gang membership? Why, if it's gangs that's fueling the division and the violence, then what is making the gang so attractive? James writes, good morning, all. Rico writes, at least 27 shot, 7 fatally in Chicago over Christmas weekend. In my opinion, the civil liberties that the city of Chicago enjoys now will soon cease to exist. Well, you remember that sci-fi movie, Escape from New York? Maybe they had the city wrong. Maybe it'll be Escape from Chicago. Deborah writes, in watching the large turnouts at Trump's rallies, we're one of the indicators. That made me think he might win, but honestly, I was in denial. Yeah, we all were. Rico writes, top speed for a polar bear is 25 miles per hour. So it's pretty much a wrap is what you're saying, right? Rico writes, remember Keisha in the movie Belly? She was wonderfully, he writes, wonderfully chocolate. I like that phrase, wonderfully chocolate. Yes, she was, brother. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Viola Davis says that when she's talked, this was reported last year, 2015. So it wasn't that long ago, that Hollywood executives basically let her know that they don't think that a dark-skinned woman is attractive. And it must be true, because that's why you see the lighter you are, the more likely you are to be like in some of these lead television roles, movie roles. You know that. Dale writes, yeah, she in my fantasy file too. She has a nice frame to go with her chocolate beauty. We getting deep in here. Denise writes, morning all. Trying to see what that image is, Denise. Oh, your shoes. Okay, I got it. For the fellas with the feet fetishes. Kiki writes, Rico, interacting with themselves. John writes, Sam DuBose was killed in 2015. Yes, he was. The trial was in 2016. Gwenda writes, good morning, Nathan, and the Choppers, and have a wonderful day. Thank you, Gwenda. She like in and out like, zoom. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Dare writes, I read in one article that most of these killings in Chicago are Facebook and Twitter beefs between small cliques are taken to the streets. Yeah, that Facebook can get you messed up. For real. It's for real. I'll tell you one image that I'm really sick and tired of, and the media has been running it with it for the last couple days. And that's the image, and I think it happened over this past weekend, the Christmas weekend. Did you see the videos of all the fights that were taking place in different malls? You had, it was like it was like a melee. People just wilding out in the courtyard. I saw at least 2 videos. I'm watching Fox News yesterday. They're running it over and over again, scaring the hell out of white people. Like, don't go to the malls. Gangs of youth might start a fight. It's getting crazy out here. It's getting crazy. It's getting wild. And guess what, folks? We haven't even got to the good part. The good part is after the election. That's when all the good stuff happens. After the election. Right now, this is nothing. So hold on. What are your plans for the New Year's? I may have an opportunity for you. I'll tell you more about it as much as I can when we come back. Also, I'm looking for winners and losers of 2016 in terms of the world of politics. Winners and losers 2016, the world of politics. I'm taking the next 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm breaking it up like this. Today, I want to talk about 2016 politics. Biggest news stories, nationally, regionally, locally, winners and losers. Tomorrow, we'll talk about people. And on Friday, pleasure. Seems appropriate right before the new year. And don't sit at home, man. Get out there and have some fun. My name is Nathan Ivey. This is the Nathan Ivey Show.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time, it's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. And you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to. Nope. I'm sure you've got a perfectly good excuse. Kids, work. I get it. You're busy. So what better time than now? Let's begin. Raise one finger if you're a man. Ladies, none yet. Oh, count in your head if you're driving. Now, 3 more fingers for everyone over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40, 1 more if you're not physically active, another finger if anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes, another if you've got high blood pressure. If you're overweight, raise another finger, 2 if you're very overweight, and 3 if you're really overweight. You've just taken the world's first audio prediabetes test. And if you're holding up 5 or more fingers, visit doihaveprediabetes.org or talk to your doctor. There's no excuse because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness.
Tired of searching online? 3linkdirectory.com has handpicked tens of thousands of quality links so you don't have to spend hours searching. Find the best internet links on 3Link Directory. Visit 3linkdirectory.com now. Enjoy quality links sorted in categories like arts, games, health, shopping, sports, travel, and many more on 3linkdirectory.com. That's 3linkdirectory.com.
Good morning. Welcome back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Currently 8:05 a.m. in the Queen City, and we are live. If you want to chime in, 513-873-7134. Do me a favor and save me into your contacts. If you can hear my voice, save me into your contacts, and you can connect with me and, very easily after that. Again, 513-873-7134. Looking back, it's the last 3 days of the calendar year 2016. 2016 has been interesting. If somebody had told me 2 years ago that I'll be doing a show online, I, at that point, did not see it, I would not have believed them. So for me personally, 2016 is the beginning of something new, something refreshing. And we'll see what 27 brings. Although the future does look very bright, very bright. Good morning. Yeah, I'm a little sore now that the Cincinnati Enquirer. I am. I got to be honest with you, just a little bit. And maybe I'm making more out of it than there's really there. I don't know, but they've got this list, right? Like top 9, top 10 stories locally. And number 2 is the death of Harambe. And the real story should be the almost death of this 3-year-old human child. Listen, I'm not anti-animal. I'm pro-animal, really. I really am. Like, I believe that animals have a right. Animals have rights too, basically, is what I believe. And I don't think that humankind should be, like, plucking them out the jungle and putting them in a cage. Put your mama in a cage. Put your daddy in a cage. Put you in a cage. And then charge people to see them. I think it's wrong. I mean, for research purposes, I understand. We're humans. We can do what we want to do, right? Until after the Planet of the Apes, we running things here on Earth. I get it. So I'm pro-animal, but the biggest story about Harambe, it was unfortunate. And if you want to blame somebody for the death of Harambe, you got to blame the folks at the Cincinnati Zoo. It's their fault. Because had they made sure that that structure was impenetrable by a 3-year-old, Harambe's life never would have been put in danger because a 3-year-old boy's life never would have been put in danger. And oh, by the way, I still kind of feel like that family should have sued. Honestly, if I had to be honest with you, I mean, because what if their son had some kind of traumatic injury? What if moving forward, their son has nightmares about being killed by a gorilla? I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous on some levels, maybe to some of you folks, but it's real. That's a real thing. But I think she got scared away from a lawsuit because she was flirting with some jail time or being charged criminally. You know, like somehow you're a bad mother. Kids, get away from you. My son hasn't even fully developed, all his skills yet. He's not as fast as he's going to be. Like 2 years from now, he's going to be super fast. Right now, he's sort of learning. He thinks he's fast, but he's not really. Sometimes he just gets away from us. It's like, oh my God, where's Junior? Junior! And this dude is halfway up the stairs or something like that. He does it all the time. I mean, we got to the point now where if we lose track of him, we immediately go to the stairs because he wants to climb up the stairs. Then he wants to slide down the stairs. Then he wants to climb back up the stairs and slide. And we let him, if he's supervised. But my point is that kids get away from you. Doesn't mean you're a bad parent per se. But what are your biggest stories locally, regionally, nationally? I would love to get your thoughts. Tracy writes, I have not been out on New Year's ever since a security guard was shot and killed at the Ritz on Reading Road. We just walked out when it happened. Damn. You were there that night? Mike writes, Trump is definitely the top story of 2016. Apocalypse Now. No, he's going to make America great again. Recently, one of his staffers, right, from the Trump administration, this dude expressed that he was going to be actually happy that Donald Trump was going to be using Twitter like more often as a president. Now, didn't I tell you folks over a year or 2 years ago to keep your eyes on Twitter? If you don't do anything else, get yourself a Twitter account because Twitter is fastly becoming official correspondence. And boom, 2016. On some levels, Donald Trump is the perfect president for this age. He really is. Short attention spans, addicted to social media, petty, Mitchy. I mean, in some ways, he reflects parts of us in terms of the overall society. Donald Trump, can you believe that? From, what was he? He was, he was always been somewhat of a personality, in my opinion, because he would do these cameos on different shows, okay? And you kind of knew that Donald Trump was a businessman, the art of the deal, okay? Gordon Gekko. Well, that's what you kind of think of. Politician, never thought of it before. Now president. It's going to be interesting. B writes Gmal, but he means good morning, all. James writes, top story should be the Pike County murders, which we still don't know what happened. We don't know if that was personal. We don't know if it was business. We don't know if the Mexican mafia was involved. We don't know if it was some good old boys from Appalachia. We don't know who did it. Whole family just taken out one day. And there's a lot of suspects that or a lot of suspicion, should I say, that maybe that family was dealing in some dope. They was in the dope game. What were they cooking up out there? Adele writes, Nate, you are the second biggest story in Cincinnati that no one wants to talk about. To get let go from Radio 1 and start your own internet show in February, and to get it to where it's today, the top morning radio show in Cincinnati and getting better every day. Big ups on your courage to take this big step, brother. Oh, Daryl, appreciate it, man. Success is my only option. It's my only option. And again, I was moved to this point because I had people behind me that were supporting me. I wasn't initially thinking about doing a show. I really wasn't thinking about doing anything. I had some time for the first time, you know what I'm saying, after doing a morning show for a while. Had a little bit of money. So I figured I just chill. You know what I'm saying? I looked at it as like getting out of a long-term relationship, and it takes a while. You want to take a couple days, if not a week or two, to get it out of your system. But, you know, I had some people that reached out to me that were supporting me. You know, it's initially, and I'm not trying to dredge up any old feelings or anything, no matter who's listening. But initially, and I may have talked a little bit about this, initially I had a partner. Initially, I had a partner in this endeavor. And somebody reached out to me who was a longtime listener and was talking good game. I understood the potential that exists. Things didn't really work out. I mean, we went down the road a little together. It didn't really work out. But you never know. You know, there's a lot of business deals that never happen. There are no books, or should I say, there are rarely any articles written about the deals that almost happen. There's rarely anything ever written about that. And you would be amazed the type of deals that almost happen. And I'm kind of new to the business end of this. I mean, I've always been on-air talent. So I admittedly am sort of learning as I go along. But, you know, hey, you know, when you're smart and you're sharp and you know what you're doing and you know your worth and you know where you're trying to get to, then sometimes that can be a guide for you. So, you know, I had support in the idea of doing this, at least on the level in which I want to do it. And support from the fam. You know, the wifey's 100% behind me, 100% behind me. And when you got a strong, intelligent sister on your side, I mean, you got a lot. Yeah, that's my partner right there, above all others, in all ways. That's my partner. Yeah, most definitely. Pam writes, true, Daryl, Nate is an epitome of faith and courage. And then I have you. That's the other thing. I keep telling you, I can do this if I can keep your support. If you support me, then I can continue doing this. And I can lift it as far as we can naturally go with it. But I appreciate you saying that, Daryl. I might screenshot that, man, and save it. Appreciate that. And what we are doing does have the kind of potential to change the media landscape in Cincinnati. I mean, some people may scoff at that if you're listening. But quite honestly, that is in fact what the potential of what we're doing right now is. It's not just a talk show because, I mean, I'm just talking about stuff that everybody else is talking about. I mean, to be honest with you, you're getting some ill flows from just me, a unique perspective, but there's a lot of shows out there with more resources, with more diversity. So obviously we have something special that we are growing upon every single day. But let's go back to the phones. Let's welcome in. We'll call her. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivy and the good people of Cincinnati.
John from Princeton, New Jersey. How you doing, John? Good morning, sir.
All right. Can you hear me this morning?
I hear you. You do sound a little bit clearer. Yes. Good morning.
Okay. Good.
Let's get into it.
I just want to make sure.
What's on your mind, John?
I agree with you 100%. It's always good to have that support factor alongside you, having the wifey next to you supporting you 100%. And I think at some point in time, you will get back on you'll get on a local or national platform. I think you should keep your resume out there. Don't stop keeping your resume fresh and hot out there to various radio stations. A good friend of mine in the New York area, she's been broadcasting for a jazz station, and she told me 10 years ago, she saw where all this was going with the radio and broadcasting. Now she, in one of her guest bedrooms, she broadcasts right. She don't have to run down to the station, jump in that traffic. She does it right out of her house. She's been doing that out of her house for 10 years. And the WBAI, which is a jazz station, broadcasts worldwide on the internet, as well as locally on the radio station in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. So I think you're on the right track to where you're going with all of this. I think you should still keep your resume fresh out there so that, you know, the various radio stations, be it local or national, if you build that extra room and put it out there, you don't have to, if some company in California hires you or Pittsburgh hires you, you can do it right out of your house. That's where the technology is at, which I think you already know it because you're on the internet. So you can do it right out of your house. So,
that's amazing. Listen, there's so many things that are possible, especially when you have a free and open internet. And that's why I keep bringing up these issues about net neutrality, because many of you are listening to the internet right now. You're on the internet right now, and those policies could have a huge impact in my ability to broadcast online. So you should another example about the politics and how important it is. The Obama administration, Obama was in support of net neutrality. Trump may not be. And that could change the game completely. And what that means to you, John, and people listening is you're going to have to pay more to get online. You're going to pay more to go to these websites. Things that are free now will not be free because from a business standpoint, I'm going to have to pass the cost on to you just so I can get online. But we'll see how things go, though, man.
Well, yes, you're right. I agree with you that Barack Obama was open with the FCC laws, whereas Trump, he may come in and decide to crush some of them, even though he thinks media doesn't support him. He's a big liar because 99% of the media, they carried him more than they carried Hillary. So I don't know what the heck he was talking about with that. But yes, you're right. You know, the spectrum of FCC laws may change on him. And then again, he may have some heat on him that, you know, the public has been saying for years, keep your stinking hands off the internet. It was free. But at some point, FCC and the government feels they got to get their stinking hands on the internet and charge you for something that's supposed to be free.
Yeah.
And I hope the people wake up and stop sitting back and allow something that was free to now, as you indicated, you know, the telephone companies, the cable companies, going to figure out a way of sucking that cost over to us. But I think you should keep an open mind. And if it means collaborating and partnering with the right company, you don't have to have that cost, and you can still broadcast and do what you have to do.
Well, you know, I'll listen. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I just want to give people a heads up. And again, just to make this point to you, John, net neutrality by itself, if you didn't look at any other issue, net neutrality alone was enough of a reason to not vote for Donald Trump or to vote for Hillary Clinton. That right there was enough of a reason. If they were equal on everything else, making sure the internet is a level playing field to all people benefits all people. We all benefit from that. And these big telecommunications companies, they want to carve up the internet, much like these European countries colonize parts of the world. Same concept, basically. And they can't wait to get their hands on the internet. And it'll cost me more money. It'll cost you no more money. And you're not going to get anything different. It's just going to be another cost associated with it. It's going to mess up your experience, actually.
Well, I think, I do agree with you, but part of it is controlling the voices, crushing the voices and not allowing the people to wake up and get off the plantation with some of them. But the government always has wanted to control the people. What better way? The internet is free, yes. You may have to pay a little bit for some of the website owners. But if they can figure out a way of snatching up or controlling some of the major players and possibly somebody with some voice, every time we get somebody with a voice like yours that's not afraid to speak out, the system figures out a way of crushing you by taking that support money away via what you experience on WDBZ. So that's always going to happen. Every time across the country when I listen to various radio stations and I enjoy listening to a brother or sister that's not afraid to speak out, the system crushes that person. So
Absolutely.
What you're doing by keep having the blog is a good thing because your voice will stay out there.
Hey, John, I got to make a move, man. Your phone is clicking and popping, but I appreciate what I could understand, man. Thank you very much, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, most def. That's John. And if you turn on your radio, and again, this is just the way it is. If you turn on your radio and you listen to your local corporate radio station, what you have to understand is that those voices can change at any moment. They can change at any moment for any reason. Anytime. The only constant is the underlying motives of that particular corporate entity. But in terms of the product, what you hear and see, that can change at any time, at any moment. And that's part of the reason why I started doing what I'm doing. And it's part of the reason why I started a Patreon campaign, is that I want to be in a position where that will never happen. Well, I'll be constant. The program that you love will be there. And when you've got independent funding sources, then you only have to be beholden to one entity. And for somebody like me, an artist, a creative person, a producer, however you want to look at it, that's the best kind of relationship. When you're only beholden to the people who actually appreciate what you're doing. So if you're interested, you can find me on Patreon, patreon.com/The Nathan Ivey Show. It's on my Facebook page. It's on my website, nathanivey.com. You can follow the link and maybe you can become a patron. Shout out to my patrons out there who are listening. All right. Currently 8:22 a.m., which means that it's time for a little bit of a pause. I won't call it a break because I ain't going nowhere. I'm right here. Not that one, DJ. Let's switch that one up. Not that one either. Give me something. There we go. Listen, here's my number, 513-873-7134. If you haven't already done it, do me a favor and add me into your contacts. Just do it under Nathan Ivey Show. That way in the near future, boom, I'm 1 or 2 button presses, clicks away, and then we can be connected. We'll be back right after this.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't give a bother to do it. I got one milestone down the drain, and now I got to work on the next. I see the future is really bright for me. I feel like it doesn't matter the age, as long as you go back and get it done. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
No one gets a diploma alone. You have more support than you realize. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time, it's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Thank my mommy for loving me so much, for taking me out to the park, for reading me books, for taking
me to the doctor when I broke my foot in ballet rehearsal,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for having the chance to take you to the park, for reading you those books we enjoy so much, for being able to take you to your therapies after you twisted your ankle, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. And in your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one. Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP. We help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Trust Park, Nathan Ivey, the man, Cincinnati's only voice. And go to NathanIvey.com, man. Check him out.
Well, good morning and welcome back. You found us. If you found us, either you did it just by happenstance or maybe you were looking for Nate Ivey. You found us. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Good morning. Welcome back. Someone had a great point, and you're absolutely right. Gilligan of the year for Friday. And perhaps we can open it up, open the doors of the church today. But by Friday, I'll put it that way, by Friday, I want your Gilligan of the Year nominations. Yeah, I posted maybe hosting a New Year's Eve party. Pam says she got plans already. I understand it's late in the week. Many people make their New Year's Eve plans really early. I get it. Fama writes that New Year's Eve is amateur night. With it being on a Saturday, the amateurs will be out in abundance. Okay, not sure what that means. What do you mean by amateurs? CJ writes, one of the top news stories, I think, was Philando Castile racially profiled traffic stop shooting by that cop Yanez being live streamed by his girlfriend on Facebook. Yeah. And not just Philando Castile, although that case wasn't particularly disturbing because you had the video. What is the total effect of these videos of police officers killing African Americans primarily? Do you think it's desensitizing just how tragic it is? Do you believe it's just heightening our awareness of just how prevalent these type of situations are? You tell me. Philando Castile. Yep. Live stream straight on Facebook. Straight on Facebook. This has certainly been another year for police violence. This has certainly been, I have seen videos of police officers shooting individuals when they basically, their backs are down in a parking lot. Philando Castile sticks out to me. This is deep. This is deep. And to be honest with you, I don't know if we're any closer to solving the problem of police brutality against people of color. Because if, in fact, race is playing a part, how do you tell a police officer to stop being racist? To stop harboring these feelings? To stop harboring these feelings? And then I'm sure that within the ranks of law enforcement, there becomes an echo chamber where everybody's saying the same things and everybody's doing the same things. Everybody's thinking the same things. They got this groupthink. I mean, hell, the president of the FOP this past year, he really should have got more heat for what he posted on Facebook, because it came across as if he just doesn't understand, which is dangerous because he's the president of the FOP. That's a very dangerous position to be in. Very dangerous position to be in. I don't think they were any closer, though. I don't think they were any closer to solving this whole thing called police brutality, because we can't have real conversations about it. Like, everybody wants to make excuses for police instead of just dealing with it and calling it what it is. Okay, you made a mistake, but you're still a murderer. You got to go to jail now, period. Period. Here's a name. Remember Ryan Lochte? Remember Ryan Lochte? And all he did was embarrass the whole damn country. All he did was embarrass the whole damn country because he went to Rio and lied about some dumb ish. This is a grown man running around here. Here you are at the Olympics. That ain't enough for you? You got to make up these stories about how you were held at gunpoint. Oh, then not too long later, boop, guess what? It didn't really happen. Didn't really happen. Sorry about that. Ryan Lochte. And you know what's so disgusting about the Ryan Lochte story? It's not just what happened in Rio. It's the fact that he came back to the United States and was embraced by the mainstream television viewership. And this man was a contestant on Dancing with the Stars. And for a little while, I thought, okay, well, maybe he's going to get voted off pretty soon. I mean, he lasted pretty long. I didn't watch it, but, you know, I know people that did. I know he was a part of that cast for many, many weeks. I mean, wasn't Babyface on there? I mean, how the hell does Ryan Lochte outlast Babyface on Dancing with the Stars? I mean, this must be a racist country. It must be. It must be. Sad things, very sad things. Ryan Lochte. Damn fool. What about the Tulsa, Oklahoma police officer, Betty Shelby? See, nobody's really talking about this. When the race baiters, people like Sheriff Duncan, people like Dr. Ben Carson, people like Larry Elder, when the race baiters start trying to bait white people against black people by lying to white people, they conveniently leave out stories like this. Officer Betty Shelby, she shot a man and his hands were up. And then she claimed, well, I couldn't hear anything. There's several officers standing all around, and she's the only one to pull the trigger. And you don't hear his name too much. I'm talking about Terrence Crutcher. I mean, basically, that was a televised lynching, basically. I mean, there's so many names. Philando Castile, Terrence Crutcher, Laquan McDonald, Walter Scott, Sam DuBose, Timothy Thomas. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. And I don't think we're any closer to solving it. Because quite honestly, until some of these cities have their backs pressed against a wall, like what happened here in the city of Cincinnati, they're never going to change. They're never going to change. And listen, this is an intellectual observation. This is not a call to action. I want to make sure you understand that. But peaceful protests, people don't pay attention to them. They get reported on, no big deal. When people start flipping cars and taking shots at officers and breaking windows and doing all kind of things that people call violent. Oh, now you want to talk about reforms. Now you want to have a collaborative. But see, the police law enforcement is no different than any other organizations. Organizations individually and collectively don't like change. Human beings don't like change, period. The powers that be understand that, and they use that against us. In terms of law enforcement, the Cincinnati Police Department was kicking and screaming. They was kicking and screaming with the collaborative. Just Susan DeLotte had to hit them with another year because they weren't complying. They weren't as forthcoming. So let's not act like the Cincinnati police themselves were just so happy about the reforms, because that's how they try to make it seem like, Cincinnati police were happy to admit that they were racially profiling black people. They were happy to have a federal judge scrutinize everything that they do and say. Oh, they were happy about that. No, they weren't. But bump them. It was better for the community. So I don't know if we're any closer, because these cities are going to have to hit rock bottom until it wakes up the politicians and it wakes up the long time, people that make excuses for police, and they realize that the people have had enough and they're not going home peacefully. Okay. They're going to raise hell in the streets or shut down City Hall in a peaceful way until they get what they're looking for. So I don't know. I think the next step for Black Lives Matter logically is going to start to move in a couple of areas, not just economically in terms of promoting the collective economic interests of black folks, whether that be in some kind of investment club or some other endeavor in which they're pooling resources for the betterment of African Americans, or just this issue, Black Lives Matter, but also to start to integrate on various levels, the political landscape, period. The best way to change a system is from within a system. If you doubt it, look at the Republicans. That's what they're doing. I don't want you to forget that. Terrence Crutcher, he was killed brutally by Betty Shelby. And then she claimed that she had some kind of, I couldn't see, I couldn't hear, I couldn't think. But you could sure pull that trigger, huh? You could sure pull the trigger. You couldn't think, couldn't see, didn't know what's going on, but you pulled the trigger anyway. That woman should go to jail for a very long time. But who are your winners and losers? I want to hear your thoughts. You hear mine. I want to get your thoughts. Let me go back to your chat. FEMA writes the Sentinels and their after the fact assertions for Gilligan's of the week. The Sentinels? So what are you saying? That they're late to the whole conversation about the mayor exactly? What are you saying exactly? This is what I want. Grapes! Yeah, okay. Let me get some grapes in here, woman. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm getting tea. Yes, please. And honey. Honey! KC writes, good morning, good morning. FEMA writes, off topic, who or what is X Squad? That's a good question. I'll let KC answer that. But very quickly, it's an affiliation of podcasters who are using Spreaker. All of them, I believe, are African-American, all doing various shows. Kiki writes, have a great and safe day, fam. Gotta go. One love. Always thankful for your support, Kiki. Take it easy. Derek writes, yeah, Ryan Lochte is a nominee for Gilligan of the Year. Pat writes, I don't see police brutality getting any better, especially in Trump's world. Oh, no. In fact, it's going to get worse because Trump he has stated that he is favorable toward the idea of stop and frisk. Stop and frisk basically gives the police the ability to stop you and frisk you because they want to, just to make sure that you're not a threat. And I believe that that could be a problem. I do, because what we've learned is that not officers are all the same. Not every officer is the same. Some officers are more experienced than other officers. Some officers are more caring than other officers. Some officers are more mature than other officers. Some officers have a better disposition when dealing with citizens than other officers. Okay. It's not to say that that officer who may not have a great disposition dealing with citizens doesn't have a role on the force. That's just not what they do well. So you give some of these officers the ability to stop and frisk, and they can back it up with doing whatever it takes to stop and frisk you. Some of them are going to inherently abuse it because some officers do that. And in these times, with everything that's happened, everything that we've seen, nobody needs that. We just don't need it. Deanna writes, morning, fam. James writes, Alton Sterling and Paul Gasson assassinations by police. Daryl writes, yeah, that was a huge story to CJ for the fact that his girlfriend videotaped the incident after Philando was shot by that trigger-happy cop. Yeah, I mean, as I understand it, he told the police officer that he had a weapon. And then when he reaches to bring the weapon out to let this officer know, like, listen, I'm not a threat, the officer opens a fire on him. Never had a chance. Never had a chance. And then after Philando Castile was killed, it opened up a whole conversation, right, during the year 2016 about whether black people who own guns have the same rights as white people who own guns. I'm telling you, I got a family member that's got a concealed permit in the state of Ohio, okay? And this dude is telling me he wants to get a holster. Oh, it's okay. I'm like, man, listen, you can. That's your right. Just be aware of where you are and what you're doing, because it can be looked at differently. Oh, we got some great interviews this year. And at the top of my list, one of my favorite interviews was the interview I did, just kind of catching up with the father of a man who was killed in a very similar circumstance. He was killed over in Beaver Creek. And he picked a firearm off the shelf, or was looking at it at Walmart, not Walgreens, and ended up being killed. Somebody called the police and said he was a threat. The police showed up, and they basically took him out very quickly. And that's what I'm telling my family member. Like, listen, you need to chill out here. Just be aware of your surroundings and what's going on. Tanika writes, my Gilligan of the year is Blanche from Louisville. Huh? I hope they never let Blanche back into that mall for what she said to that Hispanic woman. Learn the language. You ain't nobody special. Thank you. James writes, on the flip side, how about the brother that killed cops in Dallas and was blown up by the police? Yeah, they blew his ass up. From what I can remember, they had him held up in like a parking garage or something like that. And he wouldn't come out. He was talking all this ish about how he was going to kill police officers and blah, blah, blah. I really felt like it was some old Judge Dredd type stuff because, yeah, I know he killed police officers. Yeah, I know he was bragging about it. But they should have did whatever they could have done to bring that man in so he could have spent the rest of his life behind bars. And they loaded up some C4, some explosives. I don't know if it was C4, but I'm talking about the Dallas police or whoever was there. I'm assuming it was Dallas police. I believe it was because I remember watching a video of the police chief who happened to be African American talking about how they took this guy out. So check this dude out. Somehow he's communicating, whether it's through a phone or somehow he's communicating with police or the types of police officers that respond to situations like that. So while he's communicating, law enforcement, they load up a robot with all kind of explosives. Okay. And they remote control it and they park it on the opposite side of this concrete wall where this dude was held up. Right. And they blew his ass up. That's what happened. Tell me, police do not play. They do not play. I almost forgot that, James. They blew his ass up. Pat writes, Cranley was interviewed by Channel 9. He said he was mistaken in what he said regarding the Sentinels. Is that right? You got a link, Pat? How did I miss that? You know I want to talk about that. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this here. Because I am waiting to hear how Cranley is going to respond to this. And what did he have to say? Let's see, let me check this out. I'm reading through the article right now. Cranley told WCPO he misspoke in telling Emanuel the Sentinels supported Blackwell's termination. That's Rahm Emanuel, who is the mayor of Chicago. Instead, he said several well-known members of the organization favored the firing. Quote, and I've already personally apologized to Eddie Hawkins and to Phil Black, who was president of the Sentinels at that time. So I guess it's true. He did get caught in a damn lie. He was big boying it with Rahm Emanuel. Like, yeah, I got the clergy on lock. I got the black police organization on lock. I'm pretty much the man down here in Cincinnati. That is deep. Quote, there is absolutely no question in my mind that Chief Blackwell was fired unjustly and Mayor John Cranley was the principal leader of his termination. That's what it appears to be Wendell Young. He's a member of city council and also a former member of the Cincinnati Police Department. And the last time I saw Wendell was, where was I? I saw Wendell at the Community Action Agency's annual luncheon down at the Omni Netherlands in downtown Cincinnati. Matter of fact, he was sitting at the mayor's table, as a matter of fact. And I had just ran into the mayor, John Cranley, as we walked in. We actually walked into the event side by side. Big man, little man. Although the little man has a lot more power because he's a mayor. Yvette Simpson says that she believes that John Cranley was behind a 2-year campaign to undermine Blackwell. Quote, these emails show Blackwell was never given a chance to succeed. This is not leadership. It is divisive politics that stalled our police department for 2 years. She got a point. And you know Yvette Simpson and you know Wendell Young. I might even throw Chris Seelbach in, though, even though I don't think he's quoted in this. No, he's not quoted in this particular. He's not quoted in this particular article. But you know that all of them are looking for something. They're looking for some dirt to throw at John Cranley. Why? Because Yvette Simpson, that's their girl, and she's running for mayor. So you know she's going to try to make something out of this. Is there something here? I don't know. You tell me. The only way John Cranley feels like he has to apologize is if he lied. The Sentinel was like, nah. I know John Cranley was like, what in the... Why, Rahm Emanuel, right? When he woke up in the morning, or maybe he got advance notification there was going to be an article about this, you know, he had to put his team together and huddle up. Okay, how do we deal with this? And so rather going through all these explanations, listen, I misspoke. Okay, I understand now that I communicated something that was not true. I apologize. I move on. It's over. See what else here. I'm looking at looks like there's some kind of news conference on Thursday. Perhaps I should be there. Where is it going to be? It's being organized by Councilman Wendell Young to discuss Blackwell's termination. Also attending, the Reverend Bobby Hilton, who's the president of the National Action Agency. You know what? Bobby Hill and I have had our history. And in my memoirs, I'm going to tell you all about it. But I have to say this, that when I'm out and about and I'm doing my one-man interviews, he always stops and speaks with the small people. He always gives me a couple of minutes of his time. I appreciate that. Also, Rob Richardson Sr., president of the NAACP, is going to be there. Councilwoman Yvette Simpson and Dwight Tillery. Aha! A former Cincinnati mayor who now leads the Center for Closing the Health Gap and Black Agenda Cincinnati. Tillery got pulled. Because not only did he put together the Center for Closing the Health Gap. And again, okay, you got to think about this from a city view, and I don't know what the numbers are. I like to know them. Is the money that the city gives the Center for Closing the Health Gap, is that money that should be going to the Cincinnati Health Department? I don't know if those two institutions are at odds with one another. I don't know. It just seems like a plausible question, so I'll throw it out there to you. Something to think about. But he's also the leader, the principal behind the Black Agenda Cincinnati. Now, I was not there at the last meeting, and we could debate as to whether you believe I should have been there or not. But I told you I bust my ass, and I had to recover. I'm still recovering. As a matter of fact, I'm healing pretty nicely, actually. Every day I'm feeling better and better. But it was serious. It was 2 weeks ago. Still talking about it. That is deep. That's deep. These emails show that Blackwell was never given a chance. How much does it matter if Blackwell was really given a chance or not? Does that really matter to you? Okay, so what? They didn't give Blackwell a chance. So what, Ann? You're a civil servant. You know that you have your job at the pleasure of the city manager and also the mayor. They didn't want you from the jump. It is what it is. Should that be a big issue? They didn't treat him fairly. Who gets treated fairly? So what are they going to be talking about in this press conference tomorrow? Where is this press conference? Is it going to be in a time frame and a place in which I can get to? Because I love to be there. Dwight Tillery. So let me get this straight. So Dwight Tillery, who leads the Center for Closing the Health Gap, and also now the Black Agenda, is going to be at this press conference tomorrow. And I mean, I'm not going to say I know what everybody's going to say, but I think it's going to have an anti-Cranley feel to it because, look, Wendell Young has been openly critical of the mayor. And Yvette Simpson is going to she's already put her name in the hat. But this is where it gets the associations get even weirder because Rob Richardson Sr. is the president of the Cincinnati NAACP. And it's being speculated that his son, Rod Richardson Jr., may throw his name into the hat to run for mayor as well. That's deep. So why is Dwight Tillery, and I don't know how much and if they are receiving money from the city, why would the CEO of a program that receives money from the city align himself with forces that appear to oppose the current mayor? And didn't Dwight Tillery stump for John Cranley? I could be wrong about that, but 4 years ago, because there was a lot of conversation about, let me look this up. There was a lot of conversation about the various black folks, right, who were running to the black community to tell black people to vote for John Cranley. There was a lot about that, with people who actually, was calling them out. And that's when I got into a little bit of hot water, because I told a former member of city council, a woman by the name of Lakita Cole, when she called into the radio show one day, that, she was calling from like 2 inches inside of John Cranley's anus. And she got mad. She got real mad about that, as a matter of fact. I think I told you that story. It was the night that John Cranley was elected. I'm down at the Democratic headquarters downtown because, that's what I do. And I run into Miss Lakita Cole, who, by the way, I voted for a couple times. And she just went off on me. She went off on me. And I think it made her feel better. It didn't change what I said. I still meant it. But she got all mad at me. I think even John was like, Nathan, I was uncalled for. And I was trying to make a point. But anyway, maybe you can remind me. I mean, did Dwight Tillery stump for John Cranley 4 years ago? Andrew writes, okay, so Mayor Cranley misremembered, huh? That excuse worked for Brian Williams, so he might as well give it a shot. Yeah, it worked good for Brian Williams. Brian Williams was getting paid millions to talk news on television. He had a suspension for like a year or so. Do you think he was sitting somewhere looking at his unemployment about to run out? No, he was chilling. And now he's got a job hosting a show titled The 11th Hour on MSNBC. Now, they can't have a person of color with a daytime show. But we can take this admitted liar. This man lied about being in a fire, and I think he said he was in Iraq or something. Something happened. Try to make him seem like he was like a war-tested, I'm combat-tested correspondent. I guess that means something in the world of being a correspondent, I guess. I don't know. Pat Wright, it matters because the chief was supported by the community. Well, see, that was the grand lie. The big lie is that, yes, we want community-oriented policing. We want the kind of police that cares about the community. But when the police chief goes on radio too much, he's told not to do it anymore. That's what happened with the former chief, Blackwood. They told him, don't go on that radio station no more. Don't you be talking with that damn Nathan Ivey. I mean, I'm not trying to feed my ego or anything. I mean, I believe that's literally what happened. Literally. Don't you go on that show no more talking about what you doing in the community and And he defied orders, and you know how that is. See, now it's about you defied orders. Now it's not even about the original issue. Gwenda writes, do anyone remember the name of Dwight Tillery's side man who helping him to run his organization when he had meetings and then Swift and Commons? Lakita Cole is definitely a friend of Tillery, and I believe he was her mentor. I believe so, too. She was mad at me, boy. She was hot. And then, after that night, one of her friends somebody sent me a text message like, that's why Lakita Cole told you all about yourself. I was like, oh, really? Okay. I must have missed it. So I don't give a damn, period. She's like, Nathan, I was working. I said, well, Lakita, I was working. It ain't nothing personal. I still, depending on your politics, I still vote for you. That's what really matters. People can be so sensitive in the 513. James writes, on the flip side, how about the brother that killed cops in Dallas and was blown up by the police? I think I've already read that one. Yeah, I went on the floor about that. Now, Rico writes, remember the disgruntled black cop who killed the prosecutor and they tracked him down to a cabin and burned it down to catch him? Yes, I do. Ms. D writes, good morning. Gwenda writes, I think I've got all of these. Let me back up here. Tanika writes, my Gilligan of the year is Blanche from Louisville. That woman, she needs to be checked. You don't talk to people like that. Everybody just standing around not saying nothing. That is ridiculous. I think undoubtedly, and I don't care who you are, in a political sense, the biggest story politically has to be the elevation, the election, the coronation, okay, of a brand new king. He's not president. He's Emperor Donald Trump. He's Emperor Donald Trump. And it looks like if his Twitter rants and this whole thank you tour that he went on is any indication, all of the loose lip lunacy that he brought to the campaign, he's going to bring it to the White House.
I don't know what I said.
All of it.
Remember, he's going like, I don't
get ready
remember.
for it.
Oh, maybe that's what I said.
He's a winner.
You're going to be so proud of your country if I get in. You're going to be so proud of your president.
I'm already proud
about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with health care and for our veterans.
We're going to win in video games.
Every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much
He's just talking ish right now.
Take it anymore. Mr.
I can't take it anymore.
It's too much.
It is too much.
Say, no, it isn't.
It is too much.
Winning. We have to win.
It is too much. Let me see here. Yeah, you're going to win so much under a Donald Trump administration that you're going to be tired of winning. And you're going to say, please, Mr. President, no more winning. And he's going to say, no, you're going to win some more, America. Aren't you excited? Aren't you excited? I feel it. I can feel the excitement. James writes, Nate, a great local story was how you and the chopper shut down the Barney Fife at the mall, LOL. Yeah, I remember that little Barney Fife. I am authority. Remember the guy out at the Tri-County Mall? He said, I am the law. So wait. I'm the law here now. Don't you disrespect me. And then he ended up getting, matter of fact, I think I may have, hold on. I think I got the clip here, actually. That's funny if I do. Yeah, I put it right here. I think I've got that clip. I'm glad you brought that up, James. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Let's see, where we at here? Is this him?
What? I have authority in this mall. Right,
but so guess what? I have authority in this mall.
I have authority in this mall. Right, but
yeah, you don't have no damn authority. That guy got fired. He got fired because a lot of people called up the Tri-County Mall and let him know he has to go. Remember when they was walking the dude outside? And dude was outside and he was still messing with him like, nah, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. And dude's like, man, listen, I've already left. I'm trying to leave the premises. And dude just wouldn't let it go.
Guess what? I have authority in this mall. Right.
And then he found out he didn't have any authority in the mall because he got fired or replaced or something like that. But I don't know. Some of the biggest stories locally and nationally. To me, the Harambe story is not about Harambe. It's about the Cincinnati Zoo and its liabilities and responsibilities to families who bring children there. That's the real story. It's about this 3-year-old boy who almost died. And about all the threats his mother's had to deal with afterward. That's the real story. And locally, the Sam DuBose case was a tale of errors by the Hamilton County prosecutor, Joe Dieters. That's the real story. That's some straight talk for that ass. Just 1 minute after 9 a.m. Thank you so much for listening. This show will be made available as a podcast in about 20 minutes. Tell one person about the show. Just tell one person about the show as we build every single day here. Somebody mentioned the Young Turks. Think about what the Young Turks were able to do. They started as a cable show. A radio show. And then Jank, who is one of the founders and one of the principal hosts, You know, he kind of bumped around. He had a show on MSNBC for a little while. Then he went online and started their own network using YouTube. And the way they started was by taking donations from their audience. And they built something special. We're along the same path. Find out how you can support, perhaps become a patron, by going to my website, NathanIvey.com. Shout out to all my affiliates, the good folks at SoulPublicRadio.com, my new friends, the X Squad affiliates, and of course the good folks that produce the Nathan Ivey Show, the good folks at Superlative Media. I'll be back tomorrow with more. Till then, take care of yourself, and I'm out.